today. Well, it's actually been freezing cold every day, but it's still really cold. But I'm out here making some content. No, that's stupid. That's stupid. Yeah, that's really dumb. Let's not do that at all. What's going on, guys? My name is Voss, and if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm in my new M3, and I got this a few weeks ago, and I really haven't made much content with it yet, and there's a pretty good reason. It's been horrible in Ohio. It's been like 15 degrees some days 2 degrees, the next day 45 degrees. You never know. And you know, today I kind of wanted to, it's kind of dirty right now, it's my daily driver, so I wanted to go get it washed up and kind of make an overview video. It's a 2013 M3 Competition, and it's got a lot more things done to it. I guess not a lot, but it's got more to it than just exactly what's on the surface. I kind of wanted to go over everything that it has and, you know, make a little video overviewing my 2013 M3, and I kind of want to talk about, I guess, what I had before this and why I chose to get an M3 over some other vehicles I was thinking of. So let's go get a wash and let's get to it. Pulling up to the car wash. I don't generally like to go to car washes, to be honest with you, because I hate that they scratch up your vehicle. This one, however, is kind of the one exception for me. It basically, nothing touches your car, and it's not like the other touchlesses where you still have a rail to go into. This one doesn't have a rail, nothing touches your car. Their cheapest wash, which is $7, which I prefer because it doesn't put wax or any chemicals on your car. It's just soap, and it even does the undercarriage. So it's kind of a huge win for me, and it's nice because I'm daily driving this in the winter, so I kind of do this every few days to keep the salt off and whatnot. So let's get to getting this washed.
Please.
The car wash is now done, so let's go find a quiet parking lot and let's break down what this thing's got. So before we kind of jump into why I got a M3, is kind of a little bit of background. I used to have a couple cars ago. I had a 2010 BMW 335i X-Drive 6-speed manual that had the N54 platform. Fantastic. Actually, I think it has more torque than this stock, or somewhere around there. But I love that thing, and it was a blast to drive. It was all-wheel drive, so it was pretty practical. It was a two-door. I'll post a picture of it here somewhere, but you know, that really was one of the best vehicles I've ever driven and owned. I mean, it wasn't cheap to maintain, but you know, that's what you sign up for when you get a BMW. So I absolutely love that thing, and kind of when I got it, I was about to start school, and you know, as soon as I started school, I started doing a couple things on the side. I'm into real estate, so I was doing a little bit of that, and my lifestyle changed, and I really needed something that was a little more practical in the sense of like hauling stuff and taking things in the back, throwing stuff in almost like a truck bed. So I ended up getting a truck. I got a 2006 Toyota Tacoma TRD 6-speed, which was, again, another fantastic vehicle. I got a steal on that. I absolutely love the thing. I wish I would have never gotten rid of it, but you know, I had that throughout school and while I was doing my real estate stuff, so it worked out well. I could haul stuff with it. It was a great thing. The only thing that sucked about it is I got awful gas mileage. And then, as soon as I finished school, you know, I started driving, and at one point I didn't know where I was going to end up work-wise, so I was kind of getting prepared to make a commute every day, on a 70-mile commute, so an hour and 20 minutes. And when that happened, and you know, having something that got 14 to 16 miles a gallon didn't really make sense anymore. So I ended up getting rid of it, and then some things changed around, and turned out my commute was fine. I only have about a 10-minute commute, or a 10-mile commute, so it wasn't bad at all. But I got rid of it, and I kind of went carless for a while. I guess not carless, but I had other vehicles. I just didn't have anything like that was enjoyable to drive, like the Tacoma was, or the 335i was. And I want to say in the end of 2018, right around, let's say September, October, I kind of was like, you know what? I want to get an M3. So I looked for a few months, and I found a lot of cars. I actually almost bought a different one, and I'm not going to get much into it. The dealership was not very good, in my opinion. They had it priced kind of high with the amount of work that it needed to be done with it. It only had 24,000 miles, and it was a 6-speed, but it didn't have a lot of the options this car's got, and it was a year older. So I ultimately went with this one, and I picked this one up at Suburban Ford of Ferndale, Michigan, and Jeff, the GM, and then Jeff, the guy who helped me out, fantastic. I had a great experience, and a couple things here and there we had known about the car that were wrong, but very minor things. But other than that, I mean, I bought it with 11,700 miles, so it was just, and it's got about 13,000 miles now, and I've only been driving it around seriously for 10 days, so I've been loving putting miles on this thing. So let's jump outside and kind of break down everything that this car's got. So, I'm outside now. It's pretty cold out, but let's get this done with. So, here is my 2013 BMW M3, and this is basically 2013 was the last year they even made the M3, so it's pretty popular. This particular one also has the competition package, so it sits a little lower. It's got the carbon roof, which is a pretty nice touch. And I do have the comp wheels, so I was going to the Detroit Auto Show and I needed winter tires immediately, like that next day. So I kind of worked with Discount Tire, and they hooked me up with just some Michelin XI3s, which have been really good, by the way. And they didn't have them for 19-inch wheels, so I just got their kind of house brand liquid metal wheels for the winter. They could look, I mean, they don't look bad. They're not my favorite, but it kind of works, and they sit in a lot, so that kind of sucks. But other than that, I mean, it handles well. It gets the job done for the winter, so I'm just going to stick with it for now, and then whenever the summer comes back on, I'm leaning on getting Pilot Sport 4S's, but, drop a comment below what you think I should get. But let's just kind of go over this thing. So, like I said, competition package. Now, this one is done in Melbourne Red. Now, Melbourne Red is pretty hard to find. I mean, initially when I started my search, I didn't even look at Melbourne Red cars. One, you can't really find them, and two, they're too expensive. They're always lower miles, and in the coupes with the carbon fiber roof, it's hard to get. So I just eliminated that out of my search, and I was ready to give up on finding M3s, and this one popped up one day. And the price, I mean, it wasn't a steal by any means. It wasn't super high. Some of the cars on M3 Post, I mean, they had more miles than this one and less options. We're going for significantly more money than I paid for it. So, so I felt like I did okay. I don't intend on selling this anytime soon, or really ever, so I'm okay with that, and I'm gonna this can kind of be my car that I put a lot of miles on, and who knows what I'll get later. But so it's got the Melbourne Red, which I did a little checking on that. Now, I could be totally off on this, but I'm pretty sure so I have a 2013, so that's kind of the updated generation, the LCI cars. From 2011 to 2013, they made approximately, I think, 372 Melbourne Red coupes, of which I think only about 4.5 or 5, somewhere in the 4 to 5% had the manual transmission and the competition package. So we're talking about somewhere in the ballpark of 15 total cars spec'd like this, in that time frame. And I have a 13, which is the final year. So to me, it's a little better because this is the first and last rear-wheel drive V8 manual transmission BMW M3 that will ever be produced. They're not going to go back to making V8s. They've made that pretty clear. They're jumping into turbos and 6 cylinders for the smaller body styles, and I'm pretty sure they've also announced that they're stopping manual transmissions in general. So to me, this is pretty rare car and pretty special. Starting in the front, it's got these hideous M badges. First of all, they've all basically fallen off. Problem is, it's been so cold, and I don't have the right tooling here to get that done, but the next time it warms up a little bit, I'm gonna get these out. And I like that they're black, but I'm just gonna remove that. It looks disgusting. Don't really care for 2M front license plate holders, and I really hope this was an adhesive and not drilled into the front bumper, because if it is, that's gonna suck, because it looks a lot cleaner without it. So I'm gonna remove that eventually as well. But I mean, I don't know if this guy was going for extra horsepower with these M badges or not, but I mean, it looks really bad. I'm not a fan of that at all. So I'm gonna get all that's coming off. Some really cool stuff with this is kind of like the older, or not the older, but my old 335i. The lights are adaptive, so as you turn the wheel, it actually turns the lights and it kind of positions with the road. I thought that was kind of cool. But moving over, huge fan of this little subtle M badge right here. I do like that one. I don't care for the rest of them. These These mirrors are kind of cool with the little airflow right here as well. These are pretty awesome, and you can press a button in them to have them go in. So if you're in a parking lot and you don't want someone dinging it, that's pretty cool. He also put another M badge here, and now I might leave that one on. It doesn't look terrible. It was done pretty well, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of just a bunch of stickers and badges everywhere. I don't know. I think it looks cheap. I think it deteriorates the way the car looks. It kind of makes it look less, you know, sporty and more like you're compensating. And, you know, I'm not trying to sit here and add, you know, 15 horsepower for every M badge. I don't really care. So I'm not too worried about doing that. But if we go over to the back, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So, I mean, it's got a Dynan badge. Now, I don't actually know if this is a Dynan car or not, and I've tried to call Dynan a couple times. I got their voicemail and I haven't heard back yet. I'm gonna keep doing that, but basically, from what I can tell, it's got the Dynan exhaust system, which, I mean, it's not cheap. That's like a $2,700 or $3,000 exhaust system, and I mean, it sounds good. It's not super loud, but it's not quiet. It's subtle, but it's got a nice sound to it. And so, and if I go ahead and open this, some other Dynan stuff that it did have was, it came with Dynan floor mats, which, all right, whatever. I mean, I'm probably not going to use those, but they're kind of cool. And I have a baggie of all the original stuff, and not a lot was changed in here, but we'll go into the inside and I'll kind of explain some of the things that was changed out in this car. So now we're in the interior of this car. Let me go ahead and just, let me get this going. So there we go. Some things I really like in here. I love this carbon fiber, kind of exposed carbon fiber look, and they did it all the way around. It looks awesome. So that's pretty cool. If you see here, you can tell that it's missing a vent, which it's not truly missing a vent. It's actually this entire unit was replaced. Both of these stock vents were changed out for, I believe the company is called Auron. So let me go ahead and turn the car on. Yep, A-W-R-O-N. I hope I didn't butcher that, but basically it gives you kind of a readout. So right now it's showing foot-pounds and temperature and whatnot. So I actually figured out this the other day, but if you press this button right here, kind of makes a sound, but now it's changed to horsepower. You can do a 0 to 60, 0 to 120 counter, G-force and lateral acceleration. And there's just, I mean, a lot of different menus and different things you can have it read out, which it's kind of cool. I don't know if it's the only reason you would even put this on here is, I guess, if you're going to tune up your car and, you know, get more power out of it. So, you know, these cars stock do have right around 298 foot-pounds of torque, and I was in 6th gear on the highway. I've been able to get this reading out to 340. Now, let's be honest, I don't think that's true. Something about that doesn't add up to me. I don't think this car's tuned, but I want to call up Dynan, give them my VIN to make sure that or they can check to see what kind of things have been done to it. But moving on, some other stuff. He put these gauges in here, which now it shows you water, oil pressure, and the voltage one's not working, but you can read that over here. Personally, I'm not a fan. So right now it's kind of hard to tell, but at nighttime it is so they're so bright, you almost have to put something over it when you're driving because it just distracts. It's way too distracting from the road. So I'm likely going to remove those. I've just left them on for now. I haven't really had a lot of time to do that yet, but so those are probably going to come off. And another thing this has got is it's an AC Schnitzer shift knob, and you can kind of see the readout on top. So if I press the pedal in, put it in gear, it's gonna show you the gear readout, and look what it's doing. Right now we're in first and it's showing third, so it's not perfect. So I think it needs recalibrated. Personally, I don't, and now I'm back in first and it thinks I'm in third again, but personally I don't care for it. I really like the way the shift knob feels. It feels really good. It's got a nice weight to it and whatnot. I don't think it's a short throw shifter. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments, but I don't care for the readout other than the fact, and it kind of looks silly, it doesn't really work for this. A lot of my friends and a lot of people on the have been commenting, telling me to get the F10 M5 shift knob, so I might do that. For now, I'm gonna leave it. I don't know. It feels okay, and I'm not really too concerned with it for now, but I will eventually be changing that as well. But other than that, I mean, you know, pretty standard interior. It's got the M stitching, or it's got stitching in the M badge right on the seats. These seats are really nice. At first it took me a little while to get used to them, but overall they're very comfortable. They hug well, the bolstering's well, it's got a lot of adjustments, and then your standard flimsy BMW cup holders, you know, one there and one over there. But so I mean, overall it's pretty basic in here, but not too bad. A couple other things it's got is, if I jump down here, you can see that it has Dynon foot pedals, which is kind of a cool touch as well. So, you know, I think if I remember correctly, you need right around 10 points to get a Dynon badge. So I don't think this car has 10 points worth of stuff, but if it did, I can call and find out, because then that Dynon badge would be true. If not, some guy bought a fake Dynon badge off eBay or something and put it on there, which is kind of cheesy. So I don't know, depending on what I find out, that will either stay or come off. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up this video, and I hope you enjoyed that. That was kind of a basic overview of everything this thing's got, you know. So it's fairly stock, at least as far as I know. It doesn't have much else to it, but we're gonna slowly figure out everything it's got and figure out what we want to do to it, kind of get a build going for it. For the time being, it's gonna stay this way, just because I don't really have an opinion. I just want to drive it and enjoy it. I don't have a preference for how it is. As soon as it warms up a little bit, I will definitely be changing that up, adding some different stuff. I like the way this exhaust sounds, but I'm not 100% sure if it's going to stay, if I'm going to keep that. For now, it's going to stay with the Dynon stuff, but maybe when the summer comes out, I kind of want to weld up my own exhaust. But I'll keep you guys tuned. So if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, turn that notification bell on. Follow if you want to follow my build with the M3, or kind of what I do with the M3 and the content I create. Stay up to date. Check out my Instagram, VosK614. That's where I kind of post most of my stuff before it goes on YouTube. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next video.